Blue Lock chapter 283 has recently been reviewed, with there being much occurring in this chapter. In today's video, I'll be going through the chapter, breaking down the events, as well as giving my prediction as to what I believe will be happening in the following chapters. Now, if you haven't read this latest chapter, I would suggest you click off this video now, or you can stay because I'll be going over the chapter if you haven't read it. Before I get into this video though, I do want to mention my Discord server, that being the New Egoist Geeks. There, myself and other Blue Lock content creators engage with our community about all things Blue Lock. It's also the best place to hear information regarding the Blue Lock New World fan film before it's ever revealed on social media. If you are interested in joining that server, you can do so by clicking the link down below. And again, spoilers for Blue Lock chapter 283, and if you haven't read it yet, I would suggest you click off this video now if you want to read it yourself. Now, just a reminder before I get into the chapter, I don't have the official translations just yet, and I don't have the fan-made English ones, so please humor me when it comes to the translations. They may not be one-to-one with the officials. The chapter begins where we left off last time, with Rin rushing towards the goal box, with Isagi coming to stop him. The opening tagline says, 10 seconds remain on the star change system. Yoichi screams to Isagi, "Stop him, damn it!" Hiyori follows and says, "It's too late, he won't make it." Isagi rushes in and says, "Come on, Rin, let's do this. You want to crush me, right?" Rin rushes at Isagi with a thirst for battle, with Loki commenting saying, "Go, new superstar." As Isagi and Rin begin their matchup with this beautiful double spread, Isagi says, "You want to destroy me, right? Bring it on then, genius." Rin and Isagi start duking it out, with Rin mumbling Isagi's name. Isagi, Isagi, Isagi. Isagi sticks his leg out to block a shot, but Rin goes in the opposite direction. Rin then fires a shot while screaming, "I win, Isagi." Isagi has now failed to stop Rin, even with Omnivision. Or so you may think. Isagi says, "Does losing feel that good, you freak? I'm simply a pawn in this play after all." Rin is confused as Isagi continues. "This strategy," we cut to Kaiser appearing behind Isagi, "is a genius-piercing chemical reaction." Rin says, He let himself be destroyed?" As Kaiser blocks Rin's shot with a defensive block. However, Kaiser notices something. "That block wasn't solid enough. It's heading towards the net," he says. We see the ball start flying towards the net. However, this shot has some spin left to it. Gagamaru says, "Crap, this is bad. Don't go in." The ball flies and hits the post, ricocheting inside. Isagi and Kaiser realize that the ball is going to bounce in, as the ball slowly begins to cross over the line. However, before the ball goes in, Gagamaru comes in with his new save, the bear claw deflection, knocking the ball out of bounds. With the end of the chapter, the announcer says, "Gin Gagamaru. He stopped it!" The final blurb of the chapter says, "With Gagamaru's super save, Germany gains the upper hand. We can do it. Talented learners can beat geniuses." To be continued in Seoul. We also learned that there is no break next week. Now that you guys have been informed on this chapter, it was absolutely peak. First of all, we got 6 double spreads of Isagi and Rin going against each other. May I just say that we haven't seen 6 double spreads in a chapter since Kaiser's Magnus shot, which the majority of those double spreads were of his shot or the ball flying towards the net. Looking at the current events of this chapter, the most prominent thing that I see people talking about on social media is the fact that Isagi's evolution is quote-unquote useless because he needed Kaiser's help to stop Rin. Which, have you not been paying attention? Throughout the series, Rin has been portrayed to be better than Isagi in every single aspect. And in this most recent game, did you realistically think that Isagi was going to be able to keep Rin at a standstill despite the drastic gap in physical abilities? But despite all of that, let me explain why Isagi's new evolution wasn't useless. Looking at my prediction of Omnivision, I believe that this ability is his true flow state, which allows Isagi to predict the unpredictable by processing all of the information to detect the most dangerous route, as opposed to Metavision, which calculates the most rational point. If my theory as to what this ability does is true, it would explain a lot in this instance. In the matchup against Isagi, Rin could have chosen to pursue scoring a goal, however he chose to challenge Isagi, meaning Rin is playing irrationally, which is what Omnivision benefits from. During their matchup, Isagi stuck his leg out, forcing Rin to go into the opposite direction to score a goal. This was Isagi's plan. By blocking off the more irrational and dangerous space, it forced Rin to go to the more predictable route, which allowed for Kaiser to come in and stop him. This is why Kaiser with Metavision was even able to stop him, because Metavision can predict the most rational route. By forcing Rin into the more rational space, Kaiser was able to read him and stop him. Isagi knew he couldn't beat Rin in a 1v1. Rin outclasses him in all of his physical abilities. So he decided to utilize the fullest extent of his awakening to lead Rin into a position that is easier to stop. As for Kaiser's block itself, Isagi had predicted for Kaiser to come in and block the shot, but the fact that he only got a slight touch on it isn't something you can blame on Isagi. That falls more onto Kaiser himself. Not to mention the people who say that Isagi's evolution is entirely entirely useless because he decided to not 1v1 Rin and decided to let Rin shoot instead have absolutely zero reading comprehension. Last chapter, Isagi literally said that he was going to discard his rivalry with Rin in order to awaken. He didn't try to 1v1 Rin because he knew he would lose. Because of him discarding this rivalry, he doesn't care if Rin beats him. All he cares about is winning. If you want a better explanation of this, Isagi lost the battle, but in the end, he still won the war. When it comes to working with Kaiser, Isagi doesn't care anymore so long as he can win. But that's simply my reasoning as to why I believe that Yoichi Isagi's new awakening wasn't wasted. Also, there's one thing I want to say about this overall game now that the Masters are going to sub off. Loki's performance in this game has been incredibly underwhelming. It's not exactly what he has done that's underwhelming, it's more or less what he hasn't done. Loki came onto the pitch due to Charles' awakening, yet not a single time did he do anything with Charles while he was on the pitch. All he did was steal the ball and then pass to Rin. It's frankly annoying to me how Loki was revealed to come to the NAL simply for Charles, subbed onto the pitch because of Charles, and yet he did nothing with Charles for the little amount of time that he was actually able to. And to me, it really doesn't make any sense. In the story, it was written that Charles had no intent on passing to Loki, and Loki had no intention of scoring on his own. Which, if you're subbing onto the pitch because of Charles, it would make sense that you would want to link up with Charles at least one time. And if you want to outshine Noah like you so claim, why would you not try to score some goals? It just frankly aggravates me a little bit. As for my predictions for the next chapter, we need to look at the title of the next chapter to determine this. With the ball going out of bounds, the Master Strikers will be subbed off, meaning someone is going to be coming onto the pitch. And with Loki and Noah being subbed off, I could also see Igaguri subbing off as well. I mean, it is possible he could stay on as extra insurance for Rin in his flow state, but it's possible he could be subbed off. But in the instance that he isn't, I could see a random player from PXG coming on to replace Loki, and someone like Yukimiya coming on to replace Noah. I mean, Noah is playing as a right winger right now. Putting Yukimiya in the right winger position isn't the worst idea, given his incredible dribbling and his new shooting style. I mean, his ambition at the end of the Manchan game wasn't really fulfilled in the Ubers game, so with Yukimiya coming onto the pitch, he could have some more screen time to show what he's worth. Now with the title being called Soul, I really don't have a prediction as to what this could mean. It's likely that the majority of the chapter will be a monologue with players coming onto the pitch, and we could see the game restart with a little bit of the gameplay happen, but I kinda doubt it's gonna be a lot. In the future, I hope that Charles or Shido get a little bit more attention since they've been lacking in screen time, but I honestly don't know how likely that's going to be. And while I was wrong about Ness being involved with this chapter, I really hope that he does have some impact in the later stages of this game. But that was simply my prediction and review of this latest chapter. I really hope you guys did enjoy this video and will continue to enjoy it in the future. I'll likely make more videos talking about the chapters because it seems to me that you guys really enjoy them, so stay on the lookout for those. For the question of the video, what are your predictions about the next chapter? Leave me your thoughts down below in the comments section. And like always, thank you all for watching, like and subscribe to see more awesome Blue Lock content just like this.